When I was living at home, my dad would play Christmas music that can be heard through the whole home, all day, all month of December, every year. To his credit, it wasn't the same 12 songs you hear on repeat in a shopping mall. He had a huge variety. Sung versions, instrumental versions, everything from Gregorian chants to rap music. I'm not kidding. Even still, eventually this can drive anyone a little up the wall, and through the ceiling, and into the ionosphere just a little bit. So after a while I decided it was time to fight back. And to that end I started this project, putting together my own collection of Christmas music to counter his, with the two objectives of amusing myself and annoying anyone else who might be listening. This weaponized music was never actually deployed. To date, I've come up with less than a dozen, and there's no way I could keep a playlist that short going for an extended period of time. So now I've decided it's about time I turned over my research to the internet for all of you to use at your own discretion. Ideally, against the sort of person who listens to the same stupid Christmas music every freaking year and likes it. Use at your own risk. These are my Christmas music countermeasures. Weird Al has made 2 Christmas songs that I know of. There might be some Christmas polka song out there I don't know about. In any case, these were a must. The Night Santa Went Crazy is a fun one, and even better, Christmas at Ground Zero. These were mostly for my own amusement, although Weird Al's singing voice can be grating to some people, and air raid sirens tend to be much more so. Bob Rivers has done a number of comedic Christmas songs. None as funny as Weird Al, but humorous enough. Perhaps his best is this parody of Iron Man by Black Sabbath. He also has a parody of Winter Wonderland called Walking Around in Women's Underwear, which is funny enough, I guess, but it kind of comes off as transphobic, so I'm gonna kind of sidle away from this one. Mostly the Iron Man one is funny for the intro, and then is just kind of okay for the rest. But hey, it's fun enough, and anything metal is kind of an acquired taste that the kind of pod people who like to hear jingle bells ad nauseum are probably not going to acquire. Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer is not on my list. It is annoying, but not the way we want it to be. It's the singing fish of Christmas music. Something that's clearly meant to be funny, but only maniacs think it is. It has a huge potential for backfire. This is precisely the sort of song your parents might find funny at your expense. Stay away from this one. This song was actually my introduction to Wesley Willis after it was used on Weeble's site as part of a Christmas video. You might know Weeble as the guy who did the Badger song. This song is pretty bad, but it's fun in a so bad it's good sort of way, especially if you happen to already be a fan of Wesley Willis. I should also mention while we're on the subject of Weeble that there's a Christmas version of the Badger song, and since it's designed to go on forever, this would actually be enough to use on its own. You don't need a giant set list. Why didn't I think of that before now? Oh, hey, it turns out Wesley Willis did another Christmas song. In contrast to the positivity of the last one, this one is decidedly negative for some reason, and it's about Kris Kringle stealing cars. It was wacky enough that the song started with an obviously overdubbed crowd that continues to make annoying background noise for the first minute and a half. Then, just as you start to get used to hearing the music without pointless cacophony, rushing water. That's what I think of when I think of Santa Claus committing Grand Theft Auto. The ocean. So this one is by a parody rap artist called Rappy McRapperson. It might seem like a lazy attempt at humor at first listen, but there is a sort of brilliance to how the words are constructed and how he plays with expectations. Music has a unique way of setting up expectations simply by simple fact that everything usually rhymes. Your brain starts automatically filling in what you think is going to come next.
Then we went to the North Pole. That's when things got really bold.
If you don't enjoy the humor of this intentionally bad song, you're probably going to hate it. Okay, this one is bad. Really bad. Worse than Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. Worse than Wesley Willis. It's so bad that I find it absolutely fascinating. It's perfect for this sort of thing because no one could enjoy it unironically. I'm strangely amused by it. It's a terrible attempt at humor that actually makes me laugh, but only because of how unfunny it is. It all centers around playing the Silent Night song with pig squeal samples as the lead instrument. It's not well done at all. It's almost entirely made up of only one sample, which sounds really artificial. There are a couple of other samples, one of which is an overused stock sound used just for the high notes.
It's horrible.
Remember it from Warcraft 2? I do. If anything, it's even worse. It doesn't really sound like it could be a musical tone, it's just a noise. But it becomes a little welcome after you've been hearing just the other one for so long. The joke behind this song is pretty one note, taking a song about peaceful quiet and making it loud and obnoxious. You guys get the irony? Get it? What makes this really awful, however, isn't the song itself, but the sketch that sandwiches the song.
Grandma,
What, Grandpa?
I can't sleep.
Why?
It's that stupid pig.
Hold on, let's break down just what we've heard so far. First of all, it's obvious the guy who strung together this nonsense is voicing both characters. I'm pretty sure he did it all in one take, too.
I can't sleep.
Why?
They sound less like they're talking to each other, and more like he needs to pause for a second after each line to mentally switch over to the other voice. Hold on, let me get into character. These people are too vibrant and complex for me to just jump in naturally. I also love how he never came up with names for them, and thought it would be reasonable for them to call each other Grandpa and Grandma. Unless their grandkids are part of the conversation, that's weird. I mean, I feel like that might have been part of the joke, but it doesn't really have any kind of payoff. It's just kind of a thing. I have to say, though, that there's just something weirdly great and terrible about the way Grandma delivers this line.
Why?
And I mean, if the whole point to this sketch is to set up that the pig is singing, there's no way it could be handled in a more hackneyed way than Grandpa waking Grandma up just to tell her he can't sleep.
This is crazy keeping a pig in the house. I told you you shouldn't have shot the dog.
No, I didn't shoot the dog.
Your semi-automatic 303 just fired 3 times by accident?
Okay, that's a decent setup to a joke. Let's see where they go with it.
Well, things happen sometimes. A man can't help it.
Nowhere. They just kind of dropped it. The entire joke is, haha, I killed my dog.
Pig is singing again.
Where did I find this thing, you're probably wondering? I couldn't tell you beyond the internet. I don't even remember where, when, or how I came into possession of this madness. The dialogue continues, talking over the actual song, adding such riveting commentary as, "Oh my goodness."
Oh my goodness.
To date, I have only listened through this entire MP3 probably once. I usually skip ahead to the next one within the first minute or so. I think if there's just one word that sums up this whole song, it would be, why? Wait, does this guy have the exact same thing but with a dog singing Jingle Bells?
Grandpa,
What, Grandma?
the doggy ate the radio.
No, 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 no. Okay, I guess I'm kind of structuring this like a top 10 list, even though there's not really a top or bottom, it's just kind of a list of music I have. But anyway, here's my honorable mention.
Fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 pounds of back bacon,
3 French toast
2 turtlenecks
and a beer.
in a tree.
Okay, this one is pretty funny, but I'm pretty sure my dad finds it funny too.
Toques, 4 pounds of back bacon,
3 French toast
2 turtlenecks
and a beer.
in a tree.
This song is from a Canadian comedy band called Arrogant Worms. They're known for songs such as Carrot Juice's Murder and History is Made by Stupid People. In 1997, they released an album entirely of Christmas music called Christmas Turkey. They're all various levels of amusing, though none even as close to as funny as Christmas in Ignis.
It's Christmas in Ignis.
I had to look this up, but Ignis is a town in northern Ontario, and I'm guessing the band doesn't have the highest opinion of this town.
It's Christmas in
I
Ignis.
love everything about this song. The out-of-tune guitar, the horrendous chord progression, tone-deaf singing, and of course the fact that despite this mostly being a one-note joke, it works really well as a running gag.
The Christmas rock.
This is what Silent Night Pig wishes it could be.
And if the children are good, they'll get toys to play with like rocks.